Hello and welcome to the North End Bowling Club. We start outside, just inside the main gate, with the flagstaff that was erected in May 1919. Was on the original building, but has been moved to the new building. This is a members only club, and we're just going to take a look at the outside, where we have a lovely outside green where we can play the long version, and also we can play the short mat version. And here we have our youngest member playing with his grandparents, playing a lovely draw shot, just slightly too long there. But as you can see, our management, our staff and our safeguarding officers have enabled us to play safely indoors and outdoors now. So we're going to take a look at the indoors of the club and see what's happening in there. So this is the Ron Bailey Lounge, and as you can see, it's been set up to socially distance in seating, and also with the snooker, where socially distanced snooker is now permitted under the guidelines. And then we have here.
That's Sharon and Ian, yeah. That's one of their grandsons.
Oh, get the young ones in.
Well,
What's another lad comes in?
So, as you can see, all very nice. Let's go on upstairs.
Good evening, everybody. I'm one of the safeguarding officers in North End Bowling Club. So I'm going to run you through how we're going to create a COVID safe environment within North End Bowling Club. So we're going to start at the door here. We're going to do a walkthrough and I'll take you through everything that needs to be said. Okay, so first of all, we've got hand sanitisers here, along with the ladies' toilets. So what we'll be doing is, as you come in the building, have your mask on, come into the toilets, wash your hands, sanitise, and that will set you up to start with. We've got our notice sheets up here. So as we go into the room, you'll notice we have two mats. These are now been set up with 3 metres distance in between each other as per ESNBA rules. And we also have what we've got social bubbles, or bowls bubbles. Everyone's got a seat, as you can probably see. So you'll see on the sides of the mats you have a one-way system. So what we'll be doing is, when we're bowling, we'll have one person stood one side, one person stood the other, and as somebody comes onto the mat, you step back, make sure that they've got the 2 metre distance. If you are not in the same household, you'll have a mask on to keep secure, and then once the end is finished, one way or the other, you'll then walk up, and both walk up the same side, and then your partner for the other side, or if you're playing singles, you wouldn't have a partner, will then walk down the other side, still remaining with the 2 metre distance rule. And at that point, you would then do the same at this side. The only other thing with the playing, really, on a general basis, is if the fenders get moved during play, or the blocks, you will then reset them with your feet. Same with the block and the jack as well. Any balls that are removed, as many as you can, please remove with your feet. Any that you can't do, obviously they would need to be cleaned afterwards and sanitised. With running bowls, we stop with our feet, as opposed to any hand movement towards it. This is a rule we had prior to anyway in this club, and unless it's not hitting the head, and you can leave it be. That way we wouldn't be touching anything whatsoever. We will have ventilation, so we've got the windows on this side and the windows on that side. A few of them will be open to create some draft in between. If a bowler comes up and they feel exceptionally cold, they're going to be advised to wear a few extra layers, as we cannot close the windows due to the infection itself. There'll be one person signalled to do the mats on either mat, so there should only be one person touching any one of the mats at any time, same on both sides. if you have two different households on two different mats, when you leave to go to the toilet, if you need to go to the toilet, or if you leave the building and you haven't got a mask currently on your mat because you're in the same social bubble, we do advise that as you leave the room, put your mask back on when you can potentially get into 2 metre, in between 2 metre distance with anyone else in any other household. The other thing would be that if somebody is bowling on this mat and you want to get all your stuff, or if your stuff is on one of these chairs, just politely ask them to move to the wall when you're getting your stuff ready and bits and bobs like that, and then once you finish they can then return back to their game. If you're playing in pairs and you're playing somebody from outside your own household or social bubble, for instance, if Andrew, Shawnee and Law would be playing Martin and Julie, the teams would swap. So Martin would play with Law and Julie would play with Andrew, and that way anybody on either end is part of the same social bubble or household, or you can play it regularly, but you need to make sure that all social distancing is followed to the letter. At North End we also have a track and trace system. There'll be forms behind the bar or with the steward that is working at the time. You'll register your information with them. They will then jot it down and keep that on record for 21 days to make sure that nobody develops any symptoms, and if people do happen to develop symptoms, we'll be also contacting the people that you are playing with at the same time as well. The one other thing I did need to say was that after every single session, the bowler's responsibility will be to sanitise anything, the defenders and the block, just in case they did happen to touch it. We are trying to get everyone to touch it with feet, but sometimes it happens that that doesn't happen.